This video is brought to you by Patterson Car Care. Get double of premium original detail product for half the price. Head over to pattersoncarcare.com or go to the link in the description below.
Take it back, please take it back. Left it burning.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a 1996 BMW 328is. Please don't leave. The reason I say that is, sure, the 328 out of all the BMWs might not be the most significant BMW out of the E36 generation. People think about the E36 M3 the most, but this 328is, is different. Why is it different? It's got a big freaking turbo on it, and along with that, it makes around 400 wheel horsepower. So how is that done? Well, this has the M52 engine in it, which came out of another BMW of this generation. And along with that, it has a thicker head gasket and head studs. So you have this big, giant Borg Warner turbo sticking out of the hood, and it's just like staring at you like, so when you gonna spool me up, boy? Like, it's so funny when you're driving around, because one, I'm in a much more race car feeling car right now. No door panels, nothing. You don't put your luggage in this 328is. But if you're just talking about giving a car or a BMW that has a lot of character, yeah, this thing has a lot of character. It makes all the right noises. It feels very smooth. It has the signature BMW smoothness of the engine. So the transmission in this is the SMG 6-speed that comes out of the E46 M3, and with that you have this amazingly short shifter. But if you don't like want the next gear, you're not getting the next gear. So you have to be very aggressive and push hard, because if you don't, you're just gonna miss it. Oh yeah. Whoa. And right now I'm on a pretty intense tire setup in the back. This thing can dead hook from a 20-mile-an-hour roll-on with no problem. It's smart to do that. A lot of people, they'll put a big turbo in their car and bone stock internals and just send it, and then they wonder why, one, their car breaks, two, it just never hooks up. So I really appreciate that it has a really nice tire setup on it. I really was worried that this car would only be good at straight line, right, because of the tire setup on it, but I'm actually getting around the corners pretty good. Thankfully, I'm not on skinnies up front or anything like that, so it's not too shabby. The E36, super popular platform right now, no matter which one it is. It's a great chassis, can handle a lot of power. A lot of people are going after the E36 M3s now because they just feel good, but a lot of people are choosing the E36s as drift cars now in a lot of ways. Seeing this done in a completely different way, I absolutely love it. They sent me a clip of what they call the hater pipe, and it's just coming straight out of the hood, and it's basically an unbearably loud hood exit on this thing that we were going to do today, but then we realized that the audio just wasn't going to work, so I would be having to scream at you the entire time. Alright, so the pedal feel in this thing is pretty obnoxious. Like, 6-puck clutch, it's a heavy clutch. If you've never driven 6-puck, you're gonna have some trouble. But the gas pedal feel is just almost as heavy as the clutch. So it's kind of weird if you're not used to it. That is a weird sound. Oh yeah, also, another plus, this is on pump gas, so we don't have to worry about E85, even though if it had a flex fuel sensor, that's great, but once you go 85, it's like you can't go back, and then you just never want to run anything else again. But I really, really like that this car was driven all the way from Roanoke, Virginia to Richmond, Virginia, and did just fine. It's on a Mega Squirt ECU, and it's all hunky-dory. Yo, that backfire was intense. never driven an E36 like this, because I've driven a supercharged one. That was just like a bolt-on kit, right? And it was a bone stock car. It's buttery smooth, it goes dead on straight, and even with this shifter that I'm not used to, I was still able to pull it off, and I think that tells you something. Pretty interesting. So with the Mega Squirt, the reason it's popping like that in between shifts is that it has programmed in flat foot shifting. I'm not going to do it in case, because I don't have a lot of experience, but I think that's really neat that it just gets the turbo ready for the basically rolling two-step in between gears to keep everything going. And even when I'm in a higher gear, it's just butter. What I like about this car so far is, okay, you're gonna be like, what? What do you mean, David? I really feel like this car is really well put together. Because, sure, it's got a gutted interior, and I'm in an NRG race seat, but whatever. My main point, though, is the motor, the trans all feels good. It just feels like a really nice setup. Oh my God, like, okay, second is great. I think second accelerates really nice, but man, that third gear feels so good. Like 400 horsepower, people don't realize 400 horsepower in a lot of cars is like perfect. 400 to 500, this car feels like 450 to me. I know it's 400, but just the way it distributes the power is very pleasant. It's so smooth that you just go along for the ride. It's like a nice roller coaster, you know? Suspension wise, it has everything done. I'll make it simple. It's got coilovers, it's got bushings, it's got a reinforced rear subframe. It's good to go, and that's partially why the car is so buttery smooth. Because if you were to do this on just like a bone stock, about to, you know, on its last leg E36, I'd be actually scared. Wow, that was rolling anti-lag. I just hit rev limiter because I was like, oh, that was fast. Like, second gear sneaks up on you so fast in this thing. We're running out of room. This third gear is just insane on this thing. It is pulling me into my seat. Woo! Nuts. Here's the thing though, 400 horsepower, but distributed right, feels like 500 horsepower or 480 wheel horsepower, because the gearing is so well set up, and also that it's actually getting traction, that it's just scooting. This is a fast car, I'm telling you. Here's the thing though, if you did not see the turbo going through the hood, you'd have no idea. This thing looks like just an old E36 with no clear coat on the hood, just like, oh, poor guy, I bet he's saving up for another BMW. I really admire that they stuck with this car, because it's not that pretty, it's not a gorgeous car, but at this point, this is straight up a sleeper, 100%. If I saw this thing rolling down the road, I'm like, why in the world is that giant tire on the back of that thing? And no, I know why. The philosophy was that by doing the suspension first, all that first, this is like a 5-year project, right? And over time, you get a much better product than just rushing a build. And this is a pure example of not rushing a build, because it's just great. Also, did I mention that BMW seats have these little, how do I describe it? These like little kind of, they have bolsters that move. And for some reason, this air pocket is under my butt and it's going up and down on it. All right, finally hit top of third. Finally. All right, you guys, what do you think about this incredibly crazy single turbo BMW 328? Honestly, it's one of my favorite BMWs I've driven for the channel, not lying. I feel as though the E36, no matter what form it is, it's a pure raw driving experience. But so far, this is, I'm not even kidding, my favorite E36 I've driven, because of its personality, its character, and its willingness to just go fast. It's well done, suspension feels good, it feels like a solid car, and you cannot I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and I will see you guys next time, and take it easy, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye!